Okay, hot takes, hot takes, hot takes. That's what today's video is about. I asked some of my friends and some people on my Instagram to send me their hottest takes about superhero movies and superheroes in general. So I'm going to be reacting to the hottest ones. So the first one says, comic book movies have actually weakened superheroes as characters because they're too focused on being cinematic spectacles instead of deep stories. I don't agree with that. Sure, if the movie gets bad, if it sacrifices the characters for the cinematic spectacle, but I think for the most part, we've done a good job at balancing it. Look at the first X-Men movie, it didn't have the best visuals, but the movie was still well character centered. Magneto, Professor Xavier, Jean Grey, Wolverine, Senator Kelly, Rogue, those characters, see, they were well written, they were like the anchor of the movie, what made the plot go through properly, not just the cinematic spectacle. So yeah, that take now heavily depends on how good the director or the writer is at adapting the character and balancing the cinematic spectacle still with the character development and the character moments. Okay, the next one says power systems are too vast and complicated. You know what? Yes, I agree because I don't know much about power systems and power scaling and all that. The next one is I think Batman is overrated. But overrated in what sense though? I think he's a perfectly rated character. Okay, sure, he has one of the most comics. Detective Comics is like one of the longest running comic series of all time. He has the most movie adaptations out of every other superhero, and he has the most animated shows out of every other superhero. But here's the thing now, he makes money. Like the same way Spider-Man is Marvel's golden boy, that's the same way Batman is more or less DC's golden boy. Look at the first Batman movie. Tim Burton's Batman movie did about 400 million. That's the first time a comic book movie was doing that much in the box office. People love Batman, and then the people that are adapting Batman, the Tim Burtons, the Christopher Nolans, the writers of these movies, they also love Batman, and then they are giving him to the general audience, to love him too for the good character that he is. Like, look at The Dark Knight 2008 by Christopher Nolan. That was what, the first comic book movie ever to make $1 billion in the box office. Before the Iron Mans, before the Avengers, it was Batman. So you guys see, Batman isn't overrated or anything. He's just perfectly rated, well adapted, well written, and he makes a lot of money. Superhero movies don't need a whole lot of franchises or different universe movies to make it work. It can just be one movie or two, not a whole universe thingy or spin-off of the same freaking movie. Ruins the depth. Comic book movies don't have much creativity these days. Okay, that was a mouthful. So I guess the first thing she's trying to say that it doesn't need a big universe, but I personally like the universe interconnectivity. But I guess what she means is that also the individual characters don't always need to act like they are some part of some bigger narrative, that they should just explore their own plots. Then that I agree with. I would like the idea that even though they are all interconnected, I like the idea of watching Avengers 1, Avengers 2, Avengers 3, Avengers 4 all together without having to watch Iron Man 3, without having to watch Captain America Civil War, without having to watch any of the movies in between. And for the most part, I think those movies do a good job at least explaining the parts of those movies that you need to see for this movie. That way you don't have to do so much homework, which I think the MCU has forgotten how to do in recent times. Like, look at Doctor Strange 2 now. If you don't watch WandaVision, you'll be so confused as to why Wanda all of a sudden just became evil. Because the last time we see Wanda before that movie, excluding WandaVision, obviously, which is a show, in movie appearances, last time we saw her was in Endgame, and this woman was just fighting to save the world. And what do you mean she wants to take the power of America Chavez and go and find her children? Like, wait, what children is she even talking about? You get that type of thing. It's like now they are assigning us lots of homework. So what this person is saying is that characters should stand alone, even with the fact that they're in an interconnected universe. So, like now for this new DCU, let us be able to watch Batman Brave and the Bold or the next Batman movie after that, or all the Batman movies without having to watch Batman, Superman, World's Finest, without having to watch Superman, without having to watch Peacemaker. The next one is we don't need spin-offs of the same freaking movie. Oh, I'm open to spin-offs, please. Like, look at the Ant-Man movies. I'll be very vocal to the fact I don't like the fact that they use Scott Lang as the main Ant-Man. I love Hank Pym, so I would love a spin-off trilogy talking about the early years of Hank Pym when he was the original Ant-Man and his beef with the Starks. I'd love to see that actually. I don't mind spin-offs. Okay, so comic movies don't have much creativity these days. I don't know, from the recent movies we've gotten, the Superman, Thunderbolts, Fantastic Four, that's this year alone, you can see that these projects are well written and very, very enjoyable. So I do disagree with that take. I mean, sure, since Endgame we've had a bunch of stinkers, but I mean, I think we're coming to what you can call a renaissance, where these characters are coming back, where these movies are coming back, where these writers finally have passion again for these characters. So that's why I'm excited for the likes of Supergirl, I'm excited for Clayface, I'm excited for the Lantern show coming out next year. I'm excited for Doomsday, and I'm excited for Spider-Man. If you're enjoying this video and want to help me make more videos like this, please subscribe to the channel. Superheroes are more interesting on the page than on the screen. Like, comic book movies have held back superhero storytelling. I can see what it means by holding back. In the sense that, okay, you won't be able to adapt so many stories and adapt all the stories that these characters have, which is okay. These are actually quite plenty stories, and also the aging of these characters, the salaries, the budget, and also the fact that people may grow tired of this franchise. Like, I would love to see more Iron Man storylines down the line, like Superior Iron Man or Infamous Iron Man, like we went Doctor Doom became Iron Man after Tony Stark. That I'd love to see those type of storylines. I still think that superhero movies do a good job at bringing more people to the comics, bringing more people to enjoy the source material. And superhero movies have done a good job at adapting these comics. I'm not even talking about the live action movies. Like, if you watch these animated DC movies directly adapting comics, like Dark Knight Returns, the two-part movie, Batman Hush, the movie, even though people don't like it, but I love the movie, or Batman Year One. I noticed that these three movies I just mentioned are Batman movies, but still stick with me.
Really, nigga?
These movies feel like a page-to-page rendition of these comics. But the only problem is that the writers have their way of twisting it or changing some aspects to fit them. In Batman Hush, for example, where they made Hush not a separate person, but Hush Riddler himself. I mean, I don't have a problem with that, but I can see where the comic book fans could have a problem with stuff like this. Honestly, I don't Honestly, I don't know, but like the fact that most superheroes come from the US is quite disturbing. Oh, why is it disturbing? I mean, the original comic book characters were written by people from the US. So I don't think that's something that should really disturb you. Don't lose sleep over that, definitely. Original comic book writers, or the first set of comic book writers in the earlier days, were American. Most publishing companies for comic books are American, so I don't think it's really disturb you all that much that the characters are American. I mean, sure, you could go and write your own comic, you could create your own publishing company, and then you could make your characters however you want them to be. But for the most part, I think there's some diversity in these characters. Like Doctor Doom, for example, he isn't American, he's Latvian, even though it's a fictional country. If superpowered humans existed, they most likely wouldn't be superheroes. You know what? I disagree and I agree. Now, this now heavily depends on the nature of how these superpowered humans existed. Like, for example, you see Superman and you see the character Homelander. Superman was an alien dropped from the skies more or less and landed on Earth and was raised by two loving parents who may not be the richest people, but they have hearts of gold and who instilled these ideals, which were already somewhat naturally instilled in him, and made him what a quintessential example of an empathetic person and a moral person. While Homelander was a test subject, the son of Soldier Boy, a person with lots of daddy issues. So you can see that even by his nature, he isn't like wired to be the best person. Then his nurturing too wasn't even anything helpful. So he was tested in the lab, maltreated by these people, by these emotionally bankrupt people, and he is the product of capitalist greed. So of course he won't be the most morally sound person.
Guess you wanted to cram in as much fat as possible, huh?
So I think this type of thing now heavily depends on the context in which these characters grew up, in which these superpowered humans were raised. I think most Marvel movies have aged poorly on rewatch, especially their dialogue. You know what? I disagree. I mean, some movies clearly have some cheesy dialogue, especially X-Men 1. I'm looking at you. What happens to it when they get struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everybody else when they get struck by lightning. By the way, that was the defining factor of Storm in that movie. Yeah, the dialogue in that movie is quite cheesy. But I think the other X-Men movies improve when it comes to dialogue, and I think that's the only example that comes to my head of terrible dialogue. Maybe that and Spider-Man 1. But I think if you're talking about the past 10 years, past 15 years, rewatching them hasn't been so bad. I think they still hold up, like Avengers 2012 or Avengers Age of Ultron. Sure, it had the whole Joss Whedon comedy style to it, but I love Joss Whedon's comedy style. Like, I love the jokes, I love the banter between these characters. I love how he makes the characters, or even the villains, a bit comical. Look at Strucker, Baron Strucker. Look at Ultron. Look at Loki.
Stark is he's a sickness.
Aw, Junior. You're gonna break your old man's heart.
If I have to.
Nobody has to break anything.
Clearly, you've never made an omelet.
You beat me by 1 second.
When Tony said in the of Age of Ultron and Cap said language.
Language! No one else is gonna deal with the fact that Cap just said language.
I know.
Everybody was like laughing at this dude for saying language. And later on in the movie, he says,
Fury, you son of a bitch.
and people were like,
Ooh, you kiss your mother with that mouth?
ooh, you kissed your mother with that mouth. You see, that type of banter, I don't find it cringe. I don't find it hard to rewatch. In fact, I love rewatching these movies. I love rewatching the Iron Man 1s, the Iron Man 2s with its obvious flaws, the Avengers 1, the Spider-Man 2s, The Spider-Man 1 too, even though it's not the best. Even Spider-Man 3, even though it's not the best. Okay, next one is Wolverine's claws aren't the coolest part about him. His real superpower is having the patience to deal with the rest of the X-Men's constant emotional drama without snapping. That is so true. Okay, this next person says Shade would make a better Superman than Henry Cavill. Me, yes, I actually kind of love that take. I mean, out my camera showing this. I mean, he's not all that wrong, but there are obvious problems to this. I don't know. Obvious problems. You can see the problem, right? Yeah, the fact that I'm too young to play Superman. Oh, what else were you thinking? You were going to say something else, huh? Because you thought I meant something else. Yeah, what did you think I meant? Yeah, I see. I see you. I see you. You know yourself. Next one. The MCU needs more superheroes like Sentry, not punchers and kickers and shooters. These punchers and kickers and shooters are what we're more introduced to rather than these superpowered beings. After Secret Wars, we'll get the X-Men, which are naturally superpowered beings that go from street level to planet level to omega level in an instant. So you get to see that eventually, but please don't hate on the punchers and kickers and shooters. For the most part, these punchers and kickers have been well written and are the reason why the MCU is still going till today. But don't hate on those guys. We love them. We love them. Wonder Woman is an ass superheroine. I'm not sexist. Really seems so. Clearly, this guy hasn't read much Wonder Woman comics. I've seen Wonder Woman in multiple adaptations. So, I mean, if you read the Grant Morrison JLA comics, if you read the early 2000s/late 90s Mark Waid JLA comics, you actually love Wonder Woman as a character. She has a strong level of empathy and emotional maturity. She's not just some brute who's always looking for a chance to fight. Like, sure, when the fight comes, she will fight. She's also quite diplomatic. She's also quite sensible. She's not just some emotional character that will slice off your head once you piss her off. That's why the last of truth is that she's good at interrogating. She's good at diplomacy, talking, all that. She's a good character. If you see her in the likes of the Justice League show, I think even her first movie, even though it was like more of a New 52 adaptation rather than a general Wonder Woman adaptation, it still did a good job. I think moving forward, what you need from Wonder Woman is just a movie that embraces Amazon. It's not only about her being on Earth. It goes to Amazon. Sorry, it goes to Themyscira, not Amazon. It goes to Themyscira, shows us all the heritage, the Greek mythology. People get to appreciate Wonder Woman more as a character. But saying Wonder Woman is an ass superhero in bracket, not saying I'm not sexist. I don't know, bro. Deadpool and Wolverine is overhyped. I even know the person who said this. I'm not going to say his name, but if you're watching this video, screw you, man. You know that's wrong. You know that's a lie. Marvel animation style greater than DC animation style. Here's the thing. Marvel has had animation styles like in Ultimate Spider-Man, Avengers, X-Men, Heroes. Okay, those are shows that came out in the 2010s and 2000s. Then we have shows like Justice League Unlimited, Batman 2004, Teen Titans Go. I say that those shows have a better animation style than what we got in the 2000s. I'm even looking at the 90s too. X-Men, the animated series, the Incredible Hulk animated series, the Fantastic Four animated series, the Silver Surfer animated series that we got in the 90s, even Avengers, United We Stand. Those shows paled in comparison to the likes of Superman, the animated series, Static Shock, Batman Beyond, and Batman the Animated Series and the new Batman Adventures. It's pale in comparison. But here's another thing. In the modern day, in the 2020s, we've had shows like What If, we're about to get shows like Eyes of Wakanda, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, and X-Men 97. Those have been very visually distinct animation styles. These guys have gone out of their way to make their animation styles different, distinct, not just bland and, generic. As for DC, we've had shows like Batman Caped Crusader. Young Justice Season 3 and 4 was in this decade. Now, okay, Batman Caped Crusader, that really holds us back. It's not really the best animation style. It looks a bit stiff here and there, even slightly worse than Invincible's animation style. So, My Adventures with Superman, that is a very visually distinct style. I love it. I love its anime-like style, but still American. Creature Commandos, a very, very, very lovely animation style. Out of these ones I just mentioned, I will say that it has its drawbacks, or both of them have their drawbacks. Like Batman Capes Crusader, What If, the animation style of What If just doesn't hit sometimes. Those are their drawbacks, but at their peak, Creature Commandos and X-Men 97. Oh my god! I mean, I can agree that both of them have done a good job at improving their animation styles over the years. But if I have to give one, the best out of all two of them, it has to be X-Men 97. X-Men 97 has to be one of the best animations I've ever seen in a while. And that's why that show holds a dear place in my heart. It's like I rewatch that show every 3 months. In fact, talking about the show makes me want to rewatch it right now because it's only 10 episodes. I can just start today and be done with it. Sorry, I guess I've reacted to all of your hot takes. If you want more hot take videos like this, let me know in the comments down below. Maybe I'll even add you viewers if you want to be part of this type of video. Just subscribe. And I'll make when I want to make a video like this again, I'll put it in the community tab. You guys can get to put your own takes that I'll react to. So yeah, this video was really fun to make. I hope you guys enjoy it, and I hope you guys subscribe for more comic book videos like this every weekend or every other weekend that I can. Please, if you enjoyed this, like, subscribe, and I'm going to see you in the next one.